How do you like to finish the college basketball season paying under $30 per week? Between now and Selection Sunday on March 12th, there are still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all of the conference tournaments and WagerTalk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special that will include the rest of the college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA Tournament through the National Championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. That's right, from Monday, February 27th through Monday, April 3rd, there are 5 full weeks of hoops action, which breaks down to under $30 per week. Sign up for this promotion now on your favorite handicapper's homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the National Championship in Houston on Monday, April 3rd, plus all non-March Madness tourneys, including the NIT and CBI, all for only $149. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experiences in sports. Some call March Madness the most exciting time in sports betting, so act fast as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time. Grab your favorite college basketball handicapper, or perhaps add 2 or 3 college hoops experts to make this March Madness not only exciting, but also profitable. No coupon is needed, just head to the homepage of the handicapper of choice and lock the $149 price in now. As the earlier you sign up, the more days you receive.
Hey guys, welcome in at a very, happy Thursday to you here as it is tournament time and nothing but fun going on here over the last couple of days. Still got a few more of these amazing games we've got going on across the college basketball landscape before Selection Sunday, including 3 tonight that we're going to break down for you. One in the Pac-12, one in the ACC, one in the Big Ten, and we'll do it here, of course, with 3 of the best over at WagerTalk.com. As the Penn is in, Ralph Michaels is here, as is Dwayne Bryant, ready to roll. And, of course, keeping this entire thing with some sanity here is Brian Leonard. Always a pleasure to see you here, guys. Ralph, off and running here with a couple of games this morning and plenty more still to come. Do you have anything ready to roll over at WagerTalk.com for us?
Yeah, in the month of March last year in college hoops, I was number 1. Dwayne was number 1 in March Madness. He'll tell you about that in a minute. Number 1 the last 2 years in March Madness. And on a nice run, number 1 at WagerTalk the last 7 days. Remember, any capper at WagerTalk, including Brian, Dwayne, and myself, $149 gets you the rest of college basketball all the way through the national championship. And what a day it is to be in Vegas. I'm here on the show instead of sitting at one of the arenas. You've got the 4 Pac-12 games at T-Mobile. You got the 4 Mountain West games at Thomas and Mack, the 4 Big West games at the Dollar Loan Center, and the 4 WAC games at the Orleans. What a time to be in Vegas.
Amen to that. A lot going on, and it's only going to get better here over the next couple of days. So what are you thinking, Dwayne? What do you got rolling for us over at WagerTalk.com on this crazy tournament Thursday?
Well, I had a 3-pack of early games in college hoops that already went off. I do have another 3-pack available on the evening games. It's just $19 for all 3 games. I have finished number 1 twice and second once in the last 4 March Madnesses. So it's my time of year. Ralph mentioned it, the March Madness special. You can get all my college basketball plays through the national championship. It's just $149. Dwayne Bryant at wt.buzz/db.
All right, good stuff there, Dwayne. And Brian Leonard, what is going on here? College hoops, NBA, huge NHL card here tonight as well. Anything tickle your fancy on the card here?
Well, I had 7 plays up in early action. 2 of them have already gone off, 5 still to go. I was on the hockey show today, and I used Ottawa is my free play. That'll probably be my best bet in the NHL tonight. So if you miss the hockey play, you get the Ottawa plus 115 as the free play. But yeah, it's constant action here. Ralph talked about Vegas. It used to be I could go to these tournaments and get to see just about every one of them. Now they've got them all playing at the same time, so it's tougher to be a fan. So it's easier for me to stay at home and watch it on TV.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of truth to that. Get multiple TVs rolling, and you are good to go. A couple of games already underway here, guys, and we got a whole lot more to go. But we're going to start, of course, out west with the Pac-12, with USC getting ready here in the little late night special. SC laying 4. Taking on Arizona State, who managed somehow to squeak by barely against Oregon State last night. 139.5 is the total here. Teams that know each other very well here, Ralph. SC, Arizona State. Who are you giving the edge to in this one?
Well, let me just bring up one thing because there's a lot of situations today. I went through in the database and I looked at conference tournaments. When you have a rested team versus a non-rested team, the teams that have a bye like USC, Arizona obviously played yesterday. The team with rest like USC has gone 98 and 99, 49.7%. So there really is no edge. So don't fall in the trap and say, oh, I have this rested team against the foe that played. There are some unique situations in conferences where a team plays 2 games before an opponent, but not here in the Pac-12. I'm going to be on USC. This is a situation where Arizona State's offense is pitiful. Number 323 shooting threes, number 262 shooting twos. This USC defense has played awesome down the stretch. Besides Arizona, since the 16th of February, they've held foes to 31, 36, 46, 36, 32, and 29%. They held Arizona State to 29% last time. As you mentioned, Arizona State barely got by. I like this USC team. I think they have potential to, honestly, to be a Sweet 16 team. The way they're playing defense, Boogie Ellis is the guy you can get hot. If you have a guard like Boogie Ellis who can take over a game with a type of defense like USC, I'm on USC tonight, and I'll be looking, hopefully, to get some value with them in the tournament.
Well, they beat them twice during the regular season here. Third time's a charm here, Dwayne, unless, of course, you think there's an edge somewhere along the line here. We should be looking the other way.
Well, I mean, I like to look at the coaches in these tournament games also. Bobby Hurley's Arizona State teams haven't fared well in these Pac-12 quarterfinal games, 0-3 straight up and against the spread. On the other side, Andy Enfield's USC teams are 7-0 in their first games of the Pac-12 tournament. They were 4-3 ATS in those games, but a perfect 4-0 against the spread if they weren't favored by more than 6. Then you have to look at those 2 regular season meetings. USC won both. They did it by holding Arizona State to 33.8% shooting in the 2 games combined. And that's not 3-point percentage. That's 33.8% from the field. That's a serious number there. When your opponent locks you down and you can't get good looks and your shots don't fall, you need a lot to go right to be competitive. And Arizona State had a lot go right in that last meeting. They had 4 fewer turnovers, 9 more offensive rebounds, shot better than their season average from the free throw line. And USC hit just 28% of its 3-point attempts, and Arizona State still lost by 3. I will say that Arizona State has a very good defense, and that does give them more than a legit shot here. If they can figure out how to solve USC's defensive hold over them, they can certainly win this game, but I'd have to see it first. I can only look USC at this point.
All right, looking SC here. Bryan, SC, you've talked about them on the show over the last month or so. We've talked about them here. You, the better team, SC. Does that mean you would be looking their way here tonight?
Well, they just told you, both Dwayne and Ralph, about how well they've done in the tournament. So it's tough to go against either one of them. And if they both agree, it's even worse. And the line has moved from 3 to 4. All that said, I look at the shot quality numbers, and you're right. They didn't shoot well against USC in either one of those games. But I have to think that is more of just the matchup in those games as opposed to what they will do here. The Trojans won those games by 8 and 3 points. But if you look at the shot quality numbers, who have been very good to me all season long, Arizona State should have won based on their normal shooting by 9 and 19 points. Is it a situation that USC's defense is that far better than what they've seen the rest of the year from Arizona State? Possibly, which is why the line is up to 4, because my numbers say that Arizona State's just as good as USC here. I'll take the 4 points with Arizona State. It's good for the show that I'm looking at the other way, and it's also good because we know how it is when all three of us agree. So I'll take the points here with Arizona State.
Very good there, Bryan. Absolutely correct. Should be a good one. It's the late night special, guys, with SC taking on Arizona State. All right, let's move on. We got another, of course, conference game as we roll in here. The ACC is going to feature at 7 o'clock Eastern time tip in or around. We've got Virginia laying 2.5, getting ready to take on North Carolina, who handled their business yesterday, although at what cost, as Baycott was hobbled a little bit in that game, and as much as they tried to calm fears, saying it's no big deal, he was certainly limping around there. So 2.5 for Virginia, 129 for the total. Ralph, who you looking at in this one?
Well, the line looks cheap, doesn't it? Look at Virginia. Virginia tied Miami for the ACC championship, and you're laying this low of a number. But you look at Virginia. I've played against Virginia numerous times, and on the season, 11 and 17 ATS, and they've got some ugly numbers. But let's hold on a minute. North Carolina, 0-5 as a dog, 0-7 ATS as a 1-point favorite or a dog, and 2-11 as a small favorite of 6 or less or an underdog. So how does that get you where you want to go? Well, I don't. I'm going to give you the slightest leans here, and it's on North Carolina. I think North Carolina is playing well. I like the quotes that they had, but Baycott's injury is huge. I mean, the size advantage North Carolina has is Baycott. And with him healthy, Virginia actually has trouble matching up with this team. But again, with Baycott's hobbled, or we'll see what happens, it's going to be a pass for me, the slightest of leans. But I do like the confidence that Love had. After the game, he said, we are playing with a sense of confidence rather than a stressed out desperation. He goes, it's amazing how this team has gelled 3 games last time, and this was a post-game quote. So those kind of teams with that type of leadership are teams I like to lean North Carolina, but no play with the injury or the hobbled best player on the court.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to make a decision until you kind of have a pretty good idea of what his status is. But it's Virginia. We usually look at that total there. Dwayne, are you looking at a side or a total in this one?
I'm looking at the side here, and I haven't bet this game for the sake of the show. I'll give a lean. Again, I like to look at the coaches in these tournament games. North Carolina's Hubert Davis, 2-0 straight up against the spread in first-round games with the Heels. That includes yesterday's win over Boston College. But Virginia represents a huge jump in class from BC. And last year's quarterfinal game, Davis's Tar Heels were 2.5-point favorites, and they lost by double digits to Virginia Tech. On the other side, Tony Bennett has been at Virginia for what feels like forever. Bennett's Cavs are 8-0 straight up, 6-2 ATS the last 8 when playing their first game of the ACC tournament. Then I looked at the 2 regular season meetings. They split, both teams winning and covering on their respective home floors. Total-wise, the first game went under 133 with only 123 points scored. But the second meeting snuck over by over 132 by 2 points. But look what it took to get to 134 points in that game. North Carolina shot 47% from the field, 45.5% from 3-point range against the ACC's #1 defense in terms of efficiency rating. And in the first meeting, North Carolina shot just 39.6% from the field and 33% from beyond the arc. So North Carolina, I don't think, is going to duplicate its shooting success from that last meeting. I think the odds makers know it. I think that's why today's total is lower than the totals from the first two matchups. So instead of a lean on the side, I think I'm going to lean to the under in this one.
All right, looking at the under in this one. Shocker to nobody if a Virginia game goes under there, Bryan. How about you, though? Are you trusting North Carolina in this spot?
This one's a tough one for me. As was mentioned, the team split the two regular season matchups, but the shot quality numbers say Virginia should have won by 12 and 8, which is, I think, the reason why they're favored here. I think they're the better team. The problem with Virginia is they don't run very often. They're ranked 336th in transition frequency percent, so they can't take advantage of the Tar Heels' weakness, which is 285th defending transition in your shot quality points per possession. That's a concern. But then, of course, you have the injuries at North Carolina. It's a tough one for me. I made the line basically the same as it is. I don't see any advantages, so this isn't going to be on my card anyway tonight.
All right. Well, we'll move on here, see if we can find one in the Big Ten for you tonight, guys, as Illinois taking on Penn State in this one. Illinois laying the 2.5. 140 is the total here. 6:30 Eastern time tip here in Chicago. And, we watched Penn State beat Illinois this year rather easily, to tell you the truth. When Penn State's hitting threes, they're very difficult to beat here. Ralph, what do you think we're going to get in round two here between Illinois and Penn State?
Well, a lot of us quote Ken Palm numbers when we're talking, and you used to have to go to the SWAC to see the deep red 363, which is dead last of all the teams in college basketball. Offensive rebounding dead last. Free throws relative to field goals dead last. All they do is shoot threes. And in fact, they're 31 3-pointers away from setting an all-time Big Ten record of 3 points in a game. And if you look at the Ken Palm numbers, they're number one with their total percentage of points. 44.7% of their points come from the three-pointer. But they're slow. It's not like they come down and just fire up threes. They're one of the slowest paced teams. They're, think back to the Princeton days where you're passing the ball around. You're number 327 in tempo. You take the three and then you come down the court, so you don't get offensive rebounds. They made 12 of 24 3-points in their December win when they went by 15. They went 12 of 28 in their 12-point win on February 14th. But I'm still going to back Illinois here. I think they're the better team. Illinois was a favorite in both of those games, so I went to the database. In conference tournaments, if you lost back-to-back games as a favorite, and double revenge, I say this all the time, at least, and I know Bryan and Dwayne agree. Revenge is such an overused term because if you were a 20-point dog and you lost the game, you don't have revenge next time you played them. You were supposed to lose. But when you lose back-to-back games as a favorite to that opponent, like Illinois did, the database says it's 53.3%, so not a wow number. But if you're a favorite for a third straight game, you have covered 55.5% of the games. Illinois' three-point D is decent. It's in the top third of basketball, but I've seen an improvement down the stretch in that defense. And how about this number? The total's where it should be. And when I give you these numbers, you're going to understand why. 70 is the number for Illinois in the conference play. If they hold their opponents to 70 points or less, Illinois is 10-0. If their opponent scores 70 points or more, Illinois is 1-9. So then you look at Penn State with a total of 140. When Penn State is scoring, obviously, and there's a total of 140 or more, Penn State is 11-2 ATS, 9-4 over/under, with a total under 140 in a game where someone could slow them down or hold them to threes. Penn State is 6-11-1 ATS, 8-10 over/under. I think Illinois does get real revenge in this situation. I do like the Illini.
All right, liking Illinois to get it done here. How about you, Dwayne? Are you leaning one way or another in this Big Ten matchup?
Well, I actually did play this game, and I released that play to my subscribers this morning. I am going to give that play away during the best bet segment, so I won't get into the details during this segment. But just to summarize, I factored in the coaches, one in particular. I looked at the 2 regular season meetings between Illinois and Penn State, and I uncovered an NCAA-wide situational angle that supports this play as well. It's an angle that is specific to neutral site conference tournament games, and I'll get into all those details when we get to the best bet segment.
All right, good stuff there. And how about it, Bryan? Is there which one of these teams might you be leaning towards here in this matchup?
Yeah, this one's sort of like the Arizona State game we talked about earlier. Double revenge, as we pointed out, for Illinois. And those 2 games are outscored by 27 points. If you look at the shot quality numbers, though, Illinois should have outscored Penn State by 4. So we got a 31-point combined differential between the 2 teams based on the hotness of the 3-point shooting. And as we pointed out all season long, these teams that shoot a lot of threes, live and die by the threes. They're so hard to handicap because they can have that real great game where they hit their shots, or they can have those games where they couldn't hit the ocean from a boat. So they're hard to handicap. Both teams rank in the top 5 in shot quality, points per possession, defensively in the half court. So we've got 2 good defensive teams. I don't think Penn State's going to shoot like they did against Illinois in the past. So I kind of like the under, kind of like Illinois. So what I'll do is I'll play the Penn State side, Penn State team total under, and get to it that way.
All right, good stuff there, guys. Plenty of games across the board here today. Action already underway. Some of these noon tip-offs are already done. We've got, one potential upset here in the Big East with number 1 Marquette in overtime with St. John. So we'll see how this goes. There's inevitably going to be whole bunch of upsets along the way here. Now let's see if there is a game here tonight that these guys like a little bit more than the rest. So Ralph, kick us off. Tell us, which one of these games are you looking at here for the show?
Well, I'm going to give you one of my plays for this evening. And Joe, since I can't get to the 300s anymore, I still am going to go a little bit off the board, and we're going to go to the WAC. I'm going to use game 794, Utah Valley State. They're laying 6. They're playing in the Orleans Arena, and they're playing Harleton. This defense is absolutely legit. It's one of the best defenses we have in the country. I'm saying in the country. They're holding their foes. They are number 4 as far as KenPom goes for effective field goal percentage. And then we look at the situation. Harleton played yesterday. They played Rio Grande Valley. They went to the free throw line 26 times. They made 23 shots. Rio Grande Valley only made 9 free throws. That's the difference in the game. This defense is elite. They're a team that actually can win a first-round game handily. I do believe that, and I am on them tonight. So an actual client release, Utah Valley State minus the 6.
All right, Utah Valley State minus the 6 here tonight. Dwayne, you teased it. Now deliver for us here in this Penn State-Illinois matchup. Which side you looking at, or the total? Tell us what you got.
Yeah, so I did play this game, Illinois-Penn State, under the total. These Big Ten rivals met twice this season. They combined for just 133 points in Illinois in the first meeting. And that was thanks to Penn State. The shooting was a hair above average overall, but well above average from three-point range. They combined to shoot over 40%. The second meeting saw 174 total points scored. Both teams shot well in that one, especially Penn State. The Nittany Lions shot 58% from the field, 43% from beyond the arc. The free throw shooting was very good, 79.5% on 39 attempts. And even Illinois shot 80% from the charity stripe, and it's in the bottom 20% of teams in the country in free throw shooting percentage. Speaking of Illinois, they own the nation's number 29 defensive efficiency rating at KenPom. If they have a weakness, it's defending the three-pointer, and Penn State does live and die by the three ball. It's how they beat Illinois in both meetings this season, by shooting a combined 46% from three-point range in the 2 games. So I'm sure Illinois coach Brad Underwood has to be harping on his team about defending outside in this game. And speaking of Underwood, he's 3-1 to the under in conference tournament games with Illinois when they're not favored by more than 6. And the only game that went over only went over because the game went into overtime. There's also an NCAA-wide situational angle that's in play here. If you just go back the last 2+ seasons and you look at the neutral site conference tournament games with a total in the 140s, the under is 11-3 if both teams are rested and both are good shooting teams with a season average between 45% and 47.5%. This game fits the bill with these two teams, so I have played the under in this one.
All right, looking at the under in this one here. And Bryan, how about you? Which one of these games? Plenty to choose from. You mentioned you had a whole bunch up, locked and loaded, ready to roll at WagerTalk. Is there one here for the show you like?
Well, I did the NHL show today, and I guess I took a long time on my best bet, and Andrew had to point it out that I was taking forever. So I'll be brief here. We've already talked about this game. It's the USC-Arizona State game, and it's basically a regression play for me. As I said, the Trojans swept Arizona State by 8-3. And in fact, the last game was 5 days ago, so you got quick revenge for Arizona State, although they did play that game yesterday. But the shot quality numbers favored the Sun Devils in those games by 9 and 19 points. Now we're getting 4. Give me Arizona State plus the 4 here, and some trepidation because both these guys like the other side, but I like Arizona State.
All right, like in Arizona State in this one, and our good friends from the Gold Sheet, they have got a play that they like here tonight, and they are going to look at Boise State here, and they're talking about how Boise State has won each of the last 7 meetings in this series against UNLV, while UNLV is 10th out of 11 Mountain West teams in effective field goal offense as well as defense. Also, Boise State won this event, I believe, last year. So when you put it all together, it is absolutely easy for our friends at the Gold Sheet. It is going to be Boise State here tonight. And, of course, if you head on over to their page, you'll go ahead and goldsheet.com have great write-ups on a number of games as well as some great handicapping tools to utilize. Go ahead, check it out over at goldsheet.com. All right, I'm going to go total homer here, and I'm going to take the points with Oklahoma State tonight. 6.5, maybe even 7. No rush to bet it here, guys, because I don't think anybody's going to be running to the window to bet Oklahoma State, which is exactly why I'll be waiting till tip-off. I will take, in all likelihood, what is going to be 7 points here against Texas, who is just going to be about as overvalued as it comes. Cease in this lineup was not there in the lineup in the first 2 games against Texas. The big man back in there protecting the rim tonight. Texas may win, but it ain't going to be easy, that's for sure. And our recap one more time is Utah Valley laying 6, says Ralph Michaels here tonight. That's a client play of his. Dwayne, also a client play, likes Penn State, Illinois up and under that 140, while Brian Leonard in a very short, concise, and brief best bet here. He went with Arizona State plus 4 against USC. I'm going to go OSU here. I will take the points here, while our friends at the Gold Sheet, Boise State laying to 5.5 against UNLV. And guys, if you head over to WagerTalk.com, now would be the time for you to hop on board those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages, including the March Madness package. Guys, hop on board. All you have to do is go to Ralph's page at WagerTalk, Dwayne Bryan's page at WagerTalk, Brian Leonard, all of these guys locked and loaded across the sports betting landscape here tonight. Go over and hop on board, partner up with these 3 guys, and let's make it one hell of a profitable March Madness. And on behalf of Ralph, Dwayne, and Brian, we appreciate the time, guys. Best of luck with all the plays tonight. We'll go ahead and be back again tomorrow. Much more still to be decided here, and we've got you covered. Until then, good luck. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
How do you like to finish the college basketball season paying under $30 per week? Between now and Selection Sunday on March 12th, there are still tons of regular season college basketball action to go. Plus, all of the conference tournaments and WagerTalk and Sports Memo are announcing their March Madness Bonanza special that will include the rest of the college basketball regular season, conference tournaments, NCAA Tournament through the National Championship, and any plays released in the NIT or CBI tournaments. That's right, from Monday, February 27th through Monday, April 3rd, there are 5 full weeks of hoops action, which breaks down to under $30 per week. Sign up for this promotion now on your favorite handicapper's homepage and get the rest of the college basketball season through the National Championship in Houston on Monday, April 3rd, plus all non-March Madness tourneys, including the NIT and CBI, all for only $149. That's under $5 a day for one of the best betting experiences in sports. Some call March Madness the most exciting time in sports betting, so act fast as the March Madness Bonanza special is only available for a limited time. Grab your favorite college basketball handicapper, or perhaps add 2 or 3 college hoops experts to make this March Madness not only exciting, but also profitable. No coupon is needed, just head to the homepage of the handicapper of choice and lock the $149 price in now. As the earlier you sign up, the more days you receive.